Farscape Engineers Inspector Summary Video. We're here in 100 Main Street in Little Falls, New Jersey. And what we have here's a farscape similar to the other farscapes that we've been looking at. We have 3 of these in total to look at. They're all the same story. Again, there's no evidence of any routine maintenance as required by law over the 50 to 75 year life, which means we would have seen some new bolts, hex head bolts instead of these squares. We would have seen some new hex heads here. We'd see this support reinforced by now. All these treads would have been changed out with new hex heads. And what we're finding on this and the other farscape is that there's been no maintenance on these fires, no routine maintenance. So usually in a 50 to 75 year life, you're going to see at least the supports reinforced and replaced with, instead of these rivets, new bolts or a gusset here. All these treads were minimally been rebolted with new hex heads, and it's all square heads all the way down. So all the original hardware is still here on the farscape. So all new hardware here, all new hardware here, all new hardware on the treads, the frame of the platform, all new hardware. The flats are fine. In the middle, they look like they're all welded, but in case any of them are rusted, you got to clean it out. You got to verify all these connections into the building. If not, then put a new clip out here and leave the original. Put a new clip, that'll guarantee that without having to destroy much of the vinyl. All my corner gussets, those got to be all flipped out so that the gussets in the corner of the rails are new hex heads. All these treads, 100% of these treads, I need new bolts. So you got to clean out all the rust in between, prime and paint, bolt it, and then silicone shut it so that no more water gets in there. Put a nice big thick bead in here so that the water is not going to collect in there anymore and rot this out. You know, so even these rails here. So new bolts, standard, same as if, and you get a lot of rust growth. See this? All that's got to be cleaned out, rebolted, silicone shut. Reconfirm these connections, because unless you damage this vinyl, sometimes the best thing is to put a new clip out here, tie it in, mechanically fasten it here. Farscape, and that farscape there is older than 1978, so it's presumed to have lead, so you have to have an EPA renovator's license. You must have a permit to do any and all structural work on this farscape as required by code. The other thing too on this ladder needs to be converted either to a slide ladder or a permanent ladder here on the side so that you jump 7 to 9 feet to the ground. Right now this flop out is illegal. This rope thing is illegal. Unless the fire marshal okays it as an as-is condition, when it flops out, it hits somebody on the head, it'll hurt or kill them. So we won't sign on it, but we'll put a disclaimer that this ladder is not appropriate and standard as per industry standard. So you can make it into a slider, or you can make it into a permanent one along this wall. Farscape does need a latch so that nobody releases it from above. I mean, you can actually release it from above whenever you need to do that, but this farscape looks like 50 to 75% of all the original hardware needs to be flipped out and that's the critical connections only. Treads, supports, and rail post corners needs to be done, and anything associated with a ladder. Any questions? Farscape Engineers, Inspector Manessas here, 800-649-3333, 800-649-3333.